Good afternoon. It is Saturday, September 13th. I am Bruce Leonard, and this is Bruce Leonard Leans Left. While it's still legal. I believe it's legal still. A lot going on. Hard to keep track of what's legal and what isn't these days because things are moving at a rapid pace. And it is Saturday, and we are lucky, as always, to have our friend Daniele Bolelli with us, the host of History on Fire podcast and a history professor. How are you, my friend?
All right. I wish I wasn't living in the Years of Lead American version, but
Right? It's ironic that you started researching that.
yeah, it's all my fault. I did a piece on the Years of Lead for Substack 2 days before, and then 2 days later, Charlie Kirk gets murdered, and everybody loses. Hey,
What do you think's gonna happen, man?
um, it's terrifying because I'm seeing a ton of people, including, not complete batshit crazy people who semi-mainstream who are just we need to pick up guns and destroy the other side, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like,
I've been proposing myself just a peaceful secession. Like, why bother with the war?
yeah,
Like, it's pointless and people will die. And it's not, it doesn't have to happen. It's like, why don't we just
yeah,
amicably decide to split?
yeah. I mean, it's, I was reading right now, right before we got on the call, I was reading George Washington farewell address, and what he's identifying as the number one threat to the United States is political factionalism. Is the fact that rather than sitting down and saying, okay, we have 10 problems to deal with it, let's talk how to fix them. And sure, you can have disagreement over policies, but they are strategic disagreements.
Sure.
You have the fact of demonizing one another because the other faction, if right now somebody could come up with a cure for cancer, and it would be far from a bipartisan embracing of it, because if it comes from the other guys, well, fuck them, because they are the devil, so we can't accept anything from them.
Right. Or RFK would say that it was false or it kills kids or, or whatever.
The problem is this: there may be people that you find despicable or that you find terrible for a variety of reasons, but I think the alternative to dialogue and compromise and all of that is what we're seeing right now, is people wanting to gun each other down on the street. And if people think that that's somehow an easier or better solution than the annoying alternative of dialogue and compromise with people you don't particularly like, I have a surprise for you, because it doesn't get, people live in this fantasy that somehow they can wipe out the other side and then they'll get everything they want. It's like, that's literally never going to happen, because
Right.
in order to pull that off, you would have to start a genocide, which, never mind the moral aspect that you're an insane genocidal maniac, but on a practical level, you're never going to pull it off. All you're going to do is kill a bunch of people on one side, they'll kill a bunch of people on your side. After enough people have lost friends and family and they are dead on every side, somebody will be slightly on top and, hey, we won. And in about 5 minutes, the wheel will turn. They'll be at the bottom getting squashed and the other side will be on top. It's like, nobody wins this game. Absolutely nobody. So anyone who's enthusiastically embracing calls for violence at this stage, they are part of the problem. They are, I understand they got their emotions, their feelings, whatever, but like, you're succumbing to fear and pushing in a direction that's going to make everything 100 times worse for everyone.
Well,
Your side, the other side, every side.
that's what I was saying in the very beginning. You know this. The Trumpism was like, you can't have a leaders that speak like this.
Hmm.
This is what's going to happen inevitably.
Yeah.
He's just throwing gas everywhere all the time. And it's like, dude, you he can't even bring himself now to say everybody's cooled off and talk to each other or whatever. He still took an attack. Like the governor from Utah, he actually said some cool stuff.
Yeah, of course.
And then Trump just shat all over it like 5 minutes later.
I think though it's gonna be important to frame if one wants to have any kind of political opinion, which at this point I'm beginning to have thoughts about that because I don't know how healthy it is given the current climate to be public with politics, considering that people are shooting each other over some random shit. But also, if one decided to have political opinion, public political opinions, I think it probably is wiser to not frame it in terms of sides, not frame it in terms of the right, the left, the this, the that, because it's literally just preaching to the choir. Like the only people who are going to listen to you are the ones who are already on your side. Anybody who's vaguely on another side are going to be pissed immediately and see you as the enemy. So it's almost like, as unsatisfying as that may be, it's almost important to just have specific policies issues of just like, hey, this is why it doesn't work, and that's why I think it's a bad idea, and we should do this, rather than the can you imagine what those idiots are doing? Well, what can you expect from people from that side, type of thing.
I think that I was saying this on the last show, is the problem is this, is we've normalized these racist, misogynist things and said, oh, that's just conservatism. It's not, it's, and they're like, really, that's not politics at all. That's not like how do we solve a problem,
I know.
It's just a grievance.
Yeah.
And like, oh, these people are ruining the fucking society and the culture. The society will never be healthy unless we get rid of them, sort of a thing. Or at least tamp them down so much that they can't do anything.
Well, and I think part of the problem is there's an incentive on, particularly with the advent of social media. There's how do you get clicks? How do you get likes? How do you get that power that people have built
for sure
millionaire careers these ways through fear, outrage, anger, and usually the end result of all of this is that you need to have a scapegoat, and them that represents everything that's evil out there. And then you can get everybody on one side to unite behind you, send you their monthly check, follow your work, do the clicks, do all of that. So there's a major incentive in spreading fear and hatred.
Sure.
Now, of course, you can only do it so many times with the idea of free speech, which is obviously a good idea, but you can only push that envelope so many times with fear and hatred before eventually some people stop just being pissed off online and start shooting each other. And I think that's where we're at now, where there have been merchants of fear and outrage who have made zillions in this fashion, who now may realize that people are actually listening and may actually follow through with actions in the real world, and the outcome is atrocious. So, and of course, it's a double trap, because on one hand, the incentive to keep doing that is very strong, because there's even more, the more people are upset, the more money there is in being extreme and outrageous and that. On the other side, there's the fact that somebody may decide to shoot you over, and it starts with, because I mean, even like if you look at Charlie Kirk is not even at the extreme end of some of this stuff. There are people who have said and pushed the envelope even way worse.
Oh yeah.
So if Charlie Kirk is getting shot, who cannot be getting? You know what I mean? It's like,
well, I think it's also because he had such a large such a large audience.
Sure.
It's like, what does it do you any good to shoot some podcaster who nobody knows who they are?
Totally. But
if you want to make, I'm just saying, like, if you're trying to make a statement of some sort, you want it to be as loud as possible.
Yeah.
Plus, he put himself in a vulnerable spot by doing those things outside. I mean, I'm not blaming him for it. But
No,
I'm
of
but
course, of
I'm
course.
saying it's dangerous to sit outside under a
Yeah.
tent like that in the middle of a fucking courtyard or surrounded by buildings. Like
Well,
if somebody
th-
wants to kill you,
yeah, yeah.
there's 1,000 different ways they could do it. You know what I mean? Um,
That's why about 5 minutes later, Ben Shapiro was canceling all these university
sure.
appearances, all of that, because I think for the first time now there's a lot of people who think, oh shit, if they shot this guy, the same thing can. And the part that's terrifying right now is seeing how normalized the calls for violence are.
Yeah.
People left, right, arguing. A, they argue it's inevitable. B is like, at best, if they are not cheerleading it, they're like, no, I'm not cheerleading it, but it's necessary. That's what needs to be done. And I'm just like, never mind the fact that you're a bloodthirsty, crazy fuck. But also, if you forget about that part, let's look at the strategy of it. What do you think is going to happen? Oh, we're going to kill a bunch of those guys on that side. And then what? How many are you going to kill? 50, 100, 200, 5,000, 20,000? That's like a drop in the bucket of what's out there.
Yeah, it's
How,
300 million people in this country.
yeah, how many do you think you need to kill? And A, are you willing to kill 100 million people? B, do you think is even possible, even if you were scary and crazy and dumb enough to want to kill 100 million people? Do you really think that's an option, that physically you can pull it off? You know, it's so it's stupid on so many levels, and it's dangerous on so many levels. I mean, I have people from Italy, like the last few days, message me all the time saying, hey, remember that you have a passport here because US looks insane. Like, what the, things from the outside. I'm like, not just from the outside, things from the inside look insane. It's,
Well, that's just how we met.
yeah,
And we've been talking about this together for the last 10
yeah,
years.
yeah,
I messaged you to ask you specifically about this.
yeah, yeah,
Like
no,
before
it's,
any of this happened.
of course, because I mean, you could see 10 years away coming because has been this slow moving toward the iceberg constantly. Like it hasn't stirred, if anything, has picked up speed. And it's just like we see it coming, and nobody seems to be able to pull off at a mass level a tweaking of the course of and again, to me, it's like, if I could do, well, there are several, but beside taking money out of politics, which of course there's all the corruption associated with it, if there was another thing I could do, is just eliminate political parties and factions and terminology, even about the left, the right, that these, like, the thinking in terms of sports team. Because what you're seeing too is that when it comes to principles, is bullshit that these people are about principles, because the principles get changed constantly.
Yeah. Well,
So you
we
have,
were talking about that before. It's like they used to have all these fucking, small government conservative. They didn't want big
right.
federal government, and now they're like, put the military in the street.
Yeah, it's like Russia is the enemy, does dirt. Oh, now Russia is the best friend, or vice versa. It's like principles get traded constantly, and the only thing that people seem to be loyal to is this group identity based on ideas that are constantly changing. So to me, it's like, let's forget the groups for a second. Let's seriously get rid of that way of thinking because it's flat out dangerous. It's leading us to bad places. And also the painting of everybody, like even the idea is like, is there such a thing as the left? There are 10 zillion people with very different ideas, most of whom don't like each other. Who are, so when you paint the same thing, is like the right is like there's some middle of the road dude with mildly socially conservative views, and there's some neo-Nazi. They're not the same thing. Painting them all as the right is doing a gross injustice to the fact that there's a lot of variety.
But that's true. But it's been one of my criticisms this whole time. And what I told people those people that you're talking about, they
Yeah.
chose to side with the Nazis.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
it's
there's only two choices in this country. You have to decide.
Right.
And people decided, well, I guess these Nazis, I'd rather have them than liberal, or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of
And
course.
so, but they did that. But in doing that, they enabled this situation.
But I think it's like there are two options here. There's either the option, what you're saying is like, hey, can we carve it out in different areas and everybody with a vaguely certain ideology goes one way and everybody goes the other and we stop killing each other? Or the other option is, unfortunately, it's slow, painful, and annoying, but is through dialogue, through compromise, through reaching across, through try to work it with, okay, I'll give you this, give me that, all that kind of a game, which, doesn't work 8 times out of 10, but the 2 times it works, you're slowly pushing the envelope in the right direction and it helps. Other than that, yeah, there's a bunch of bloodshed that leads to nobody winning and a lot of suffering. And so, those are our current options. And we seem to be taking the absolute worst possible option on the table. And yeah, man, it's just disappointing.
I the, I agree with you. The whole thing is disappointing, but it's I don't think that you can fix this very easily because a
Easily.
lot of these Republicans, if you haven't noticed, their whole entire identity is based upon attack, and there is no.
I
Uh,
mean, yeah, that's the problem of group identity that people, it becomes like a religion. People get so attached to an identity that they would do anything rather than let it go, or not even let it go, but just willing to step outside of it and think in different terms, which is what the George Washington thing was about. Was like, don't think about what's good for your faction, think about what's good for a nation, think about, your all of that. And it's like, I think it's like, until factionalism is the one thing, and it's not a chance that Washington was talking about it at the end of the 1700s and is still not 1 inch better today. So it's something that need to be dealt with, but the odds are not great because it's so satisfying to the human psyche to belong to a faction with a flag and the colors and the
it's
bullshit.
it's a tribalism.
That's why I'm like, push sports more. Have people watch sports. You know what I mean? It's like
I
fucking,
love that shit. That's what I said. But you go to a football game, usually everybody's just there enjoying the football game.
yeah, do
I mean,
the,
if there are fights in the stadium and shit, but for the most part, I've like
yeah,
hung out with people that had the other team's jersey on, and
right,
we all had a good time. We watched the game together,
yeah, exactly.
and everybody forgets about all their dumb shit for a minute,
Yeah, absolutely. So to me, it's like, yeah, do that. If you want group identity, you wanna put the colors on and do the chant and feel good about being part of a group, do that. How about you do that? Don't fucking bring it to politics and then start picking up guns. Let's skip that part. That doesn't seem to be the smart way to go about it. So I
No,
don't.
but I do think that you need to be prepared as well, though.
Yeah, I mean that's the scary part. That of
Like I
course.
started thinking about the other day. It was like when you showed me that fucking list thing,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like maybe I should carry my gun around. Like
I mean, that's of course the problem of
I don't want to.
compromise, that there has to be two sides that want to compromise. You cannot compromise by yourself. That's not how it works. You cannot have dialogue by yourself. You need to be, maybe so, by going, hey, I'll put the gun down. Can you put the gun down? Maybe that gets the process rolling. Whereas, of course, clearly, if nobody does, it doesn't even begin. But of course, yeah, you cannot do it naively, where it's like, you play by one set of rules and I'll play by another set completely, because it doesn't work.
Well,
That's
I
why,
think that's
yeah,
also how we got here. I think.
exactly, exactly. So it's very Cuba Missile Crisis, where you are so at the edge of major dramatic conflict in which everyone gets fucked over. But to be able to disengage and step away from it is such a delicate game that you have to go millimeter by millimeter, and it's difficult. It's very, very difficult.
I don't think Trump is capable of it.
No, I mean, Trump, in fact, that's a problem. Trump clearly is built the opposite way. His whole brand is forget dialogue, forget his, he doesn't even bother trying to keep a pretense that he's doing something for US as a whole. He's doing it for his guys, his side. It's all about his brand. So, of course, it's the exact opposite of what's needed in terms of message. But, people are going to be like, oh, fuck you about your anti. I would say the same thing if somebody did it from the left. If their attitude was just fuck everyone else, there's only my side, I would still say that's a terrible idea because it's not going to lead to good results.
Sure.
I'm thinking in terms of strategy more than in terms of brownie points for your side.
Sure.
But yeah, man, I seriously am not enjoying this timeline. I would, I can
Right?
think of 10,000 different ways to have it
I
better.
used to say when I was a kid, when I was young, I always thought like America's not going to last.
Right,
Like
right,
this
right.
system is not the way it is. It's eventually going to collapse. But I'd never thought in 1,000 years that I would still be alive
I know,
and
I know.
relatively young. I mean,
Yeah, man.
relatively for this to be happening.
Yeah, no,
It's like,
yeah, I had bad expectations. This is a lot worse than I expected. So
yes,
it's just terrible from every point of view. So yeah, man, not not fun. Well, I think the only consolation I can take is we don't live at the time of the Black Death. That's a win. That's I take these over the Black Death.
well, and then also, when you look at like the '60s and shit,
Yeah.
a lot of crazy shit happened,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
for
the
sure.
and the country survived through it. Like,
No, I mean that's what I mean. You can always find a place and niches you can carve for yourself that are healthy. You can have a good life even in the middle of the empire collapsing. But of course, you have to be careful. And yeah, I mean, I'm seriously debating like, do I ever even want to ever express a political opinion in public again? I don't know. I'm not sure because it doesn't seem to be, again, purely in terms of strategy, it doesn't seem to be paying off. It doesn't seem to be helping anybody. Certainly not helping me, but I don't know that it's helping. So I'm like, I don't know, man. There are people whose livelihood depend on that because they make a living spouting politics all day long. They are definitely not going to stop. But from where I'm at, do I want to do this? I don't know. It makes me wonder.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I started this show because I thought it was necessary at the time. At the
Right.
time, um, I still kind of feel that way, but and it's picking up. Really,
Yeah.
I'm getting more views, and it seems like it's catching on. But I don't believe that I have this. This is not a divisive show. I don't think.
No, but
I
that's
don't
also
try to do that. I mean,
that's that other part of the equation. I'm asking the question. I'm not sure what the answer is. I'm not like, oh, because clearly to come to the conclusion of, oh, we shouldn't talk politics ever in public, that's not a good conclusion either. That's not a win. That's not, but I want it to lead to good outcomes. And right now, for me, it's not leading to good outcomes. So I'm just like, how do I want to approach this? It's not a rhetorical question. It's a very much an open-ended question of like, yeah, let's see what's the best use of energy or that can deliver the best results. Because I'm not sure if this way of doing it right now, the way I've been, works. And I'll change my mind, but I'll be thinking about it for sure because I don't know what delivers the good
well,
results.
what's sad is I can't even really remember the last time I came across a conservative that we really had a conversation.
Right, right, right.
Like it's been a long time.
Well, and that's what I
Like
mean. Like it
I
feels
just I
like,
just stopped trying to have a conversation with them because I just got frustrated. Like they're
yeah,
not they don't listen. They're not going to listen. So you're just beating your head against a wall.
and that's what I feel. That it feels like either preaching to the choir or screaming into the void of just. So that's where I start asking myself, I don't know what the answer is, but I'm pondering the question. That's kind of where I'm at. But in any case, on that note, I'll go pick up my daughter and forget about politics for a minute. And
It was nice to talk to you. We don't have to talk about that. We can talk about other shit.
yeah, some other time. Let's just for while madness rules around. Let's play with. We'll play with some other stuff once in a while. See what happens.
Yeah, that's it. I always love seeing you, my friend.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It was
Tell you,
great seeing you.
tell your daughter I said hello.
You bet. Have a great one.
All right,
Take care.
thanks for hanging
Bye.
out. Daniele Bolelli, everybody. I love Daniele. He's such a cool guy. I'm so lucky that he comes by here. But like I said, we're actually friends, which is crazy to say. Like I said, I literally heard him on Joe Rogan podcast. Like, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. When Trump first appeared, I messaged him to ask him, like, what do you think about all this stuff? And, like I told him, like, you can see what's going to happen. If you know anything about history. And we just kept talking, and all of a sudden we were friends. And I moved out west, and then I went to L.A. to visit my friend. He lived in L.A., and he was like, hey, why don't you have lunch with me? And I was like, okay. And then we met in person, sat down, had a meal, like how you meet people. And conversation, and we've been friends ever since. I've been to his house and shit. I'm lucky. I said lucky. But like I said, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, it's hard to. I said this before, but the hardest part about it is that you have to continue your normal life. You have to get up, you have to go to work, you have to do your job, and like you would normally do, and pretend like that the world isn't burning down around you. I don't know if you saw this story about Nepal, what happened in Nepal. Someone wrote a little summary of what happened, and I'll read it to you because it's fucking crazy. I mean, I know that there was protests and all this shit was going on, but it says this is what happened in Nepal in like the last week. Like, a bunch of teens and early 20s kids planned to start a social movement against the current regime on social issues and economic inequality. Well, the government gets wind of it and tries to geo-block social media. Well, people get more pissed off, start protesting. The government can't handle the protests and lifts the social media ban. But that doesn't do anything. People just organize more. And then they burn down the parliament building, the prime minister's house. They beat the shit out of the finance minister in the streets. And then they killed the prime minister's wife. Then the kids elect their own new prime minister on Discord. The ex-chief justice of the Supreme Court, who was part of the 1990 revolution that ended the monarchy in Nepal. And then the army head acknowledges the validity of the Discord vote and is meeting with the new prime minister to discuss elections for leadership going forward. So they toppled the whole government in like a week. Of course, that country is way smaller than America, but there's 300 million people here. That's why we were having that, me and Danielle were talking about it. It's like, this is not a small country. It's a big country. There's a lot of people in it. It's 300 million people, so it's not so easy. Something like that can't happen here, or at least not that fast. Because there's too many people. That's the thing is, like he was saying, let's say one side did take control, right? Somehow. And they're suppressing liberals everywhere across the country, right? Well, you don't think that liberals are going to form militias and guerrilla fight unit, and it's like an insurrection. And we all know how those insurrections go because even the U.S. military can't stop Vietnam, Iraq. Like you can invade a country, but you can't kill everybody and subdue everyone. There's always going to be an insurrection, and it's going to go on and on and on, and people get killed and killed and killed. And, and it's not good for anyone. That's why I'm saying why I'm a secessionist now. I mean, I say that as a comedian, in jest, of course. I mean, but it's not in jest. I'd rather have a secession than have a war. I know a lot of Trump supporters who are just like the guy that drives the truck that comes to work and delivers the loads for me. Most of those guys are Trump supporters.
What?
Um, and most of them are all right when you sit talk to them. Like that's the thing is everyone's all fevered up, but they forget like every single day we go out and we interact together, right? Liberals and conservatives at our jobs, at a bar, local bar, whatever. People have discussions all the time, and they don't kill each other, right? Sometimes you're friends with the guy. I don't agree with his views, but I'm friends with him. I got a lot of Trump supporter, friends. I mean, I don't hang out with them all the time, but I'm saying that they're all right. Other comedians, people that I've worked with. All this hate is pointless, and it only will lead to negative outcome, like he was saying. It's sad that you have to be like, maybe I have to carry my gun around because some asshole might watch this show and like Daniels and decide that they don't like what I say, want to kill me. It's sad that that's even a reality that you have to think about, but it is. And in these states, I said you can legally carry your gun. So I'm like, well, I have guns. I might as well carry one. If some guy does show up to kill me, I'd like to, be able to defend myself. Maybe I can talk my way out of it. I'm pretty good at talking. It's like, that's why I was a good security guard. It's like 9 times out of 10, I can diffuse the situation with my mouth. I'm good at dealing with people. I can calm everyone down somehow. I don't know how. Or I could yell really loud and threaten them, and they'll they back off usually. But it all depends on the situation, what kind of tactic you got to use, and that's also a part of dealing with people is knowing. It's just like being a manager. Like everybody's not the same, right? If you're a manager, you can yell at some guys and it's okay. That's how, and they don't care, But some people you yell at them and they're fucking. It's not an effective way of communicating. So you have to assess every personality that works for you and what's the best way to communicate with these people. When doing security or crowd control is just the same way. It's like when you start talking to people, you get a pretty good idea pretty quick, like what kind of person they are, what kind of vibe they're giving off, and then you deal with them what you think's the most effective way. Some people need to be, sternly dealt with, and some people need to be like. Usually, I just be like, man, you pay a lot of money to get in here. You don't want to get thrown out, do you? Like, if you get thrown out, it's going to cost you $300 or however much it costs you to buy the ticket to come in here, and you don't want that, do you? Like, and usually that works. They'll go, oh yeah, I guess you're right. Like yeah, and you're not going to see the concert that you came to see or the game or whatever. It's like just fucking chill, man. Have a beer and go back to your seat. Fucking have a good night. I'd be a good negotiator, I guess. Better than these fucking guys, because they ain't negotiating shit. I don't know if you notice this, but the world's falling apart. Like the Nepal story is just one. There's no leadership in the world right now. And countries, they know it, and they're taking advantage of it. They go, we can do whatever we want, and Trump ain't going to do shit about it. And they're right. He ain't going to do shit about it. Huh. And like I said, Trump's in way over his head and has been for a long time. How he ever became the figurehead of anything, I don't know. I mean, he's a celebrity. The Celebrity Apprentice. That's what he is now. Only there's nobody above him. Like he's not apprenticing to anybody. It's like his show where he pretends like he's in charge of shit and fires people. And then that's what he's doing as president. Pretending like he's in charge. I love Cash Patel the other day. Try and take credit for catching that guy that his dad turned him in. They're like, they didn't do anything. Fucking 12 hours before that, they were on TV going, oh, we don't know who this guy is. Please, someone call. They're begging for tips like it's America's Most Wanted. The guy's dad turned him in. They turned himself into the local police station. Cash Patel didn't do shit. As a matter of fact, Cash Patel, I don't know if you know this, after Charlie Kirk was killed, Cash Patel wasn't at the FBI headquarters like trying to get all the information he could on this case and get this investigation on the road. No. Cash Patel was out eating in a restaurant and tweeting on his phone about they had the shooter in custody, but they didn't. They had a guy in custody, but he was like, we got the shooter. And like an hour later, while he's still eating at the restaurant, he tweets back on his personal Twitter, oh, we had to release that guy because it wasn't him. And you're going, what the fuck is going on? How did we let the world turn into this? I don't know. I'm sorry, Julie, again, that I didn't say anything. I was listening to Daniele, and I was letting him talk mostly because I wanted to hear what he had to say. This is a weird time to be alive in this country. Like his friends in Italy are like, hey, man, maybe you want to come back to Italy. And we all know what's happened in Italy. All kinds of crazy shit. And they're like, you need to get out of there. You know why? It's because over there, there's not 400 million guns. That's the other part of the situation. When the mega people act like, oh, they're just gonna roll over everybody. It's like, dude, there's more guns in this country than there are people. You don't think there's left-wing people that have guns? I mean, my name of my show is Leonard Leans Left, and I got some guns. There's plenty of other people like me. Everyone in this country has a gun. There's more guns than people, literally. There's 300-something million people in this country. There's over 400 million guns. You think that it's just going to be easy to roll over everybody? Like, no. Everybody's armed to the teeth in this country. And everybody's, like me even, who is not a violent person, that doesn't condone violence. I bought guns because I thought that this shit was getting crazy and you might need them. And there's other people like me. They're like that. Everybody's got a little fucking, what do they call it? A bug out bag and some guns and ammo, and I got a samurai sword now. I got all kinds of shit. It's like, because you don't want to be caught unprepared. Like, you gotta, what is it? Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And after the other day, like I said, and seeing all the shit I saw people saying online, I was like, damn, maybe I need to put that gun in my pocket. I don't want to do that. I've had all these guns for a long time. I mean, not all of them, but I've had guns for a long time. And I've never carried them outside of my house. I just have them in case I need them, and if the world starts really falling apart, you want to get a gun like as fast as you can. But after reading, I said the shit people were saying online the other day, I was thinking to myself, man, maybe I need to carry it with me, because who knows, anything could pop off at any time. This country is a powder keg. It's like ready to fucking, like that shitty song. What's that song? Like, living in a powder keg and you're giving off a spark. I hate that fucking song. Now they turned it into a Downy commercial, and that's even worse. It's like, I didn't think you could make this song worse, but they did somehow. That's what America can do, is they can take any shitty product and make it worse. We're good at that. Like they switched the music at work. in the store. I don't know who made this decision. It was obviously it must be a corporate decision because they've been playing the same classical music where I work for like a decade. Because I used to work there before and I stopped. I moved to Vegas, all this shit, came back. Now I work in the same place. They still had the same music on when I came back. But recently, somebody made a change where now it's violin and cello versions of like pop songs. So it's like, I swear to God, it's like violin, cello, Poker Face by Lady Gaga. It's like Dance Monkey. I swear to God. And you're like, oh my God. I mean, like, how could this song be worse? Oh, it's like cold violin versions of Coldplay songs. It's really like torture. It's like, and not only that it's terrible, but there's only like 10 songs, and they just repeat all day. So you hear the same one like 5 fucking times a day. It's already driving me insane. But again, like, we can take something that's bad and we can make it worse. Like, Coldplay sucks. How do you make it worse? Here's this symphonic version. It's like, oh no. It's like, do 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 do. You're like, oh Jesus Christ. Violin versions of It's a Beautiful Day by U2. It's like, there's only 2 chords in the fucking song. It's like, how you gonna... You know, like, who are these people that decided... It's the weirdest thing, too. It's like all violin pop songs. There's a Daft Punk. Violin Daft Punk. I'm like, did they put the robot helmets on? Just have to get lucky. You're like, are you fucking kidding me? This is unbelievable. You listen to that enough and you think to yourself, this country doesn't deserve to survive. It's such a corporatist, consumerist fucking nightmare. It's like... It's fucking terrible. But anyway, so it's like 10 pop songs. But then it's like they got bored of pop songs. They were like, you know, man, I'm bored of playing these pop songs. What else can we do? And mixed into it is movie soundtracks. It's like a movie, you know, like Star Wars, and then they don't just play they play like all the songs that are in Star Wars. It's like they play the Darth Vader song, and they play the, you know, they get in the metal song, and they play the one when everybody knows. It's like, and then they do Jurassic Park. It's like, it's awful. It's totally. It's like they start like running machinery on purpose so you don't have to hear it so much. Like, oh, there's no boxes in the baler, but somehow I'm over there pushing the button so that I can just listen to that machine instead of violin fucking Poker Face for the 5th time today. You know, it's like to make you want to kill yourself. Like, boring, mundane jobs. Don't already make you want to kill yourself, but then they do that. It's like The Walking Dead when they had that guy in the room and they just kept playing that record over and over. What's his name with the bat? Negan. He like had the dude in the room and he just kept playing that record over and over and over. It's like a 50 songs. I can't even remember what it was, but I'm like, yeah, does that drive you nuts? It's like, we're like, we got these people trapped here 8 hours a day. How else can we torture them? It's like violin music versions of pop songs, but there's only 10 songs, so they repeat endlessly all day. It's like, how can we make this even more monotonous? I hold my beer. He's like, I got it under control. It's like, who is this person at corporate that made this decision? It's bad. It's a bad gig. Anyway, I'm wearing my Bengals jersey because I'm excited. Football season is one of the things that distracts me from all this shit that's going on. Tomorrow, again, I hope to not look at my phone one time. I'm going to get up at 1 o'clock. I'm going to watch the Bengals play. Hopefully they'll win. And then I'll watch football games all day. And I won't turn on any news. I won't look at my phone at all. That's what happened last week. And I hope to repeat that for 17 weeks. Because I need it. And like Daniele said, it's hard to... And I get what he's saying. Like, I pondered it too. It's like, should I stop doing this? I mean, I don't have a huge enough audience to be like, oh, I would disappoint millions of people if I quit. But some of you would be disappointed because I do have loyal listeners. And I don't know if I told you this. It's weird. Since my mom got sick and I had to like take care of her, like really nurse her. Like I had to hook up her IV twice a day, and I got to keep an eye on her. I haven't been able to do all the things that I was doing before, which to try to build the show. Which is like cutting up the show into shorts and sharing that all over TikTok and Instagram, and Facebook, and hope that people come to the YouTube channel and watch. And it was working, but then like I said, I got busy with my mom and I couldn't do it for like the last month. I haven't done any of that shit. And the show I did, the last show I did, just blew up all of a sudden. I mean, not blew up, but I mean for me, it's like over 100 something views now, for no reason. I don't know how. I don't know how it happened. It was like that. And there was all kinds of comments. People were and like, then people were starting to get. It was like maybe I cracked the algorithm finally, and YouTube is like recommending my show in tiny pockets. But it starts small. That's how it goes. But anyway, it was encouraging. It was like I was thinking, well, maybe I should just quit doing this because, like Daniele said, there's an element of danger to it now. And but I kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie. Life is boring. It's like, let's get some danger. I've always kind of been like that, like it's the same shit. Like security, I'm always the first one running to whatever happens. I'm trying to get in on the act. It's like life is boring. Need a little excitement. People say, "Oh, you can maybe get killed." Yeah, and so what? It's like, I mean, I don't want to get killed, but I'm saying everybody gonna die sometime, and I'm not rather die living than cowering in my fucking bedroom like, oh, I can't go out there, it's scary. It's like, if there's a war going on, I'm gonna be walking around, It's like, certainly ain't gonna just hole up in my house, like. I'd probably go out to Indiana, out to Brookville, my dad's farm. He's got property in woods and shit. So I could go out and hunt, and there's a river, a creek there, you can go fish. So I could live there, and set off so you would see anybody that's coming, It's a good location. It's way outside the city, and it's way out in the country, so the houses are all spread out, so you can see somebody coming towards you, for a while. Unless they came through the woods, I guess, but there are woods, so we put traps and booby trap that shit. John Rambo. I've seen First Blood. You take the tree and you put the spring and you sharpen a stick. I've never done it, but I can figure it out. But again, it's the same as I used to have a joke about that. The doomsday preppers. It's like Is it really, I mean, when the apocalypse does come, like, do you really want to be living? It's like, well, the whole point is surviving. It's like, yeah, but you live in a truck trailer, you're eating cans of spam, you're under the ground, because you put the truck trailer in the ground, it's like a bunker. It's like, how long can you sit down there before you go insane? And, like, that's no quality of life. You're gonna run out of, whatever, like, there ain't gonna be no TV because, it's an apocalypse. So the only TV you might have is if you had some movies on DVD, but you're gonna watch them pretty quick. You're gonna run out of shit to watch. It's like you're just gonna be sitting there in a truck trailer staring at the thing. Eventually, you go out looking to run into somebody, like I said, to get some action, because you can't just be doing nothing for the rest of the fucking end of time. When the apocalypse does come, I said all bets are off. Like, just like you're living day to day, and you might as well try to pack in as much as you can every day because they will be numbered. You know what I mean? Like, there's existential questions, about survival itself, life itself, even. Like, the whole point, and then you see, like, Walking Dead shit, like, why the fuck would they want to go through all this shit? It's like, well, we're living. It's like, yeah, you're alive, but that's a shitty life. Like, there's a fight or flight, instinct that comes back to life. It's like everything is fucking crazy at all times. You can't enjoy nothing, It's like, people still try to have the, regular human relationships. It's like, I thought you had a girlfriend, man. Yeah, but the zombies ate her. It's like, she couldn't run fast enough. It's like, oh man, that sucks. Like, it's like, is it worth it? Like, do you want to live like that? I don't know, man. That's what I said. I'll be going out every day when the shit hits the fan. Looking for adventure. I'll probably get killed quick. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I've been through a lot of shit. I've almost been killed a bunch of times. And I'm still alive. So I have a lot of luck, I mean, walking around like Robert Duvall and Apocalypse Now, bullets flying all around. Like, what the fucking? What's going on today? Who's got the tuna fish? It's like, that's all you eat, canned goods. Two guys could kill each other over a can of spam. Like, this is the apocalypse. I don't know if it'd be worth it. Yeah. I said I had a bit about it. I'm not going to sit here and do it. It's stand up. It is an interesting thought. It's like, don't you think? It's like, that's it. It's about quality of life. And that quality of that life seems like it would suck. I think it really, if the shit hit the fan and there was nothing to do, I think, except for, there's chaos everywhere, and like people say, cities are burning and shit. The best thing to do is to get out to like Montana or somewhere where there ain't nobody. Because I've been out there, there's lots and lots of places where there ain't nobody. And you could just like set up somewhere on a mountain where you can see anybody coming at you and just live alone. Like there's people on like Life Below Zero and shit. You ever watch that show? That shit's crazy. The guy's like, I said like people anymore. No, I live in this cabin 80 miles outside the nearest town on the edge of a lake alone. It's like, man, you must really not like people. Like, I don't like people, but I can imagine like just picking up and living alone somewhere like 90 miles away from anybody out in the woods. I mean, somebody who does that is already a little bit mad. But, like, once you spend 6 years in the woods alone, you're really going to go mad. It's like, You start talking to yourself like Gollum and shit. Call yourself Precious. Yes, Precious, get us a moose today. It's like, it's crazy. Somebody found, I don't know how they find these people. That's all I always wondered that too. It's like, they go, hey, we're going to make a show about people who don't want to be around anybody. It's like, well, where are they? I don't know. Can't find them. They just contact the guy who's been living in the woods for 10 years alone. Hey, man, can we come to your cabin and film you? You gonna be on TV? He's like, no, I don't like people. And they go, hey, man, you gonna be on TV? What? Oh, okay. Because everybody wants to be on TV. You be a TV star. Really? I don't like people, but I want a lot of people to know about me. It's like, that seems silly. Quite contradictory. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go out and listen to some live music. They got some blues at the Mansion Hill Tavern. I'm gonna go down there and have a beer or something. I don't have to work tomorrow. Football. That's it. I'll be watching football all day and not fucking thinking about any of this shit. But I'd like to thank Daniele Bolelli. I'm very lucky that he comes here. And if you just tuned in just now, I've been watching the counter over there. And you missed the first part of the show. Daniele was here and he had a lot of interesting things to say. So go back and listen to him. I'll be back on Tuesday at 6 o'clock as always. And Who Dey? Go Bengals! It's their home opener, which means they'll probably lose. But if they don't play any better than they played last week, they're definitely going to lose. But if anybody knows, like, I was born a Bengals fan, I'll die one. You don't choose to be a Bengals fan, you're born into it. For all the teams in the league, like the guy who lives in like California or something, I like the Bengals. You're like, what? It's like, we're born here, we're indoctrinated into it. Same as the Reds. That's all we have here. So, anyway, hug your fucking loved ones, please, and be nice to each other. We need to be nicer to each other. I left that fucking group. You should be proud of me. I cut the fucking trolling out. I said, I'm not going to do this anymore. I left. So, I wasn't bullshitting when I said that last show. I love all you guys. I said I'll be back Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Thank you to Daniele Bolelli. Go listen to History on Fire. I am Bruce Leonard. This is Bruce Leonard Leans Left, while I still leave. And I'll see you on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Thank you. Good night.